Welcome to Annotating every YouTube video I watch for a week using Rome research. How did I come about this? Did I invent this highly original idea? Well, there's been a lot of doing X thing for a week challenges type on YouTube, so I think that maybe mixing up Rome research, the Rome research as like using the Rome logo in the thumbnail and the doing X thing for a week and mixing it like with watching YouTube videos. I think it can be a good idea, but it's not a completely original thought, and I'm heavily inspired by this post by Visakam Brasami. He's a writer. I really enjoy his tweets and his YouTube videos too. I will probably link this thing in the description. But yeah, basically to sum it up is that it's one of his main talking points, and it's basically that you should take notes of everything. And particularly if you're like him, keeping meticulous notes of whatever you do when you're procrastinating is a good thing. So it's like, yeah, pursuing your interests, it's not entirely procrastinating. And since I have a test on the 21st, so in 8 days, I thought it was a good week to put this to practice. So yeah, it's basically, instead of just watching videos like usual, I will watch the video and have a window open of Rome. So yeah, what's Rome? Rome research is basically like a note-taking app, and yeah, its main feature is basically backlinks. So these links that are in between brackets are like smart, and they know when they have been linked. So you can, yeah, in this page I don't mention this day, but it links me to it. So yeah, as you can see, I've already watched a couple of YouTube videos, so I'm doing this intro after I've already started the challenge. But yeah, basically, and yeah, I will be doing like a daily recap of what I've watched that day. So it's day 1, and I'm making, this is take 5 of day 1 because the previous video was super long. It was like 30 minutes. I still uploaded the full 30-minute video of each day, link is in the description. And I want to make each daily segment a bit shorter. I want it to be like a couple minutes tops. So instead of reading basically the whole script in quotes, I'm going to like go over it and go over each video and kind of give a sum up in general. So yeah, I watched from a traveler guy who was in Nigeria some days, and yeah, it's very chaotic. The vibe is very chaotic. It's cool. And also there's a discussion in the comments that's interesting about how a person who lives there in Nigeria and the person who I think is an immigrant in the UK, they talk about how the life in each country is better, and my response is basically that yeah, I mean, in developed countries life is more developed compared to like Nigeria, which has a lot more of undeveloped parts, like the ones you can see in the video here. And in general, if you watch the whole video, you can see that it's a pretty undeveloped country infrastructure wise, and that translates into jobs and stuff like that. So that opportunity in general is better in the Western one, in quotes. But that doesn't mean that the guy can insult the guy and tell him he has no future, because that's what he says. And I think that Nigeria does have a future, and it's a booming cultural power in the sense that Nigerian culture is very important, and there's a lot of people there, and also that it has room for growth. If its infrastructure is currently low, in a bad state, it can go up. Then the next video I watched, it was because I watched a TikTok of Pretty Constanza, the Against the Current singer, and yeah, it's a song about a phone. It's a phone ad, but it got viral and it's funny. I liked it. It's got a good beat. Then the next video is about why generations don't exist, porque las generaciones no existen, by Spanish philosopher Ernesto Castro. And yeah, I watched it because I saw this tweet. And yeah, in this tweet he says forgive the boomers kind of in a light-hearted way, but I got a bit serious, and yeah, got reminded of another conference by Ernesto Castro, which is this video. And I had watched this like a couple months ago and got reminded of it, and then watched this one that I watched because remember what he said more exactly. And yeah, he talks about the books by Strauss and Howe, and they're somewhat esoteric, but he talks about like the whole history of generations, how in the ancient times they were talked about a little bit, then a couple groups of French versus Germans who had like opposing views, and the Spanish philosophers who had tried to like make the views come together. But he argues that the generational concept doesn't really make a lot of sense. And I also said something about quintos, which are like the Spanish cohorts that got grouped into military conscription together, yes, to research a bit more. And it's a very interesting video. Then I watched a video about Sanna Marin, which is the Prime Minister of Finland, and she trended a couple days ago. And because I got distracted looking up this tweet for this document, I got distracted, and I went with my phone to look up the tweet, but I got to Instagram instead, and I saw I follow this Prime Minister because she got trending a couple of days ago. So I saw her story and she talked about Elon Musk, and so I went to Twitter and posted it. Yeah, I mean, a whole mess, but then I watched this video in Finnish because it's funny. I wanted to hear how Finnish sounds and how she talks.
Ja itse kannan vastuun siitä, että minulla ei ole ollut tästä tietoa.
Yeah, funny. Then a couple interesting comments. They talked about the English people are like kind of curious and they like her, and the Finnish people don't seem to like her. Some people said that they don't like her because they're fascist or like far right. Yeah, and I can see it, but also I probably like exaggeration, because it's like yeah, in Spain people do the same with our president. In foreign countries he's like the handsome president, and outside the country it's like no, and inside the country people are like right-wing people because he's a left-wing president. But yeah, also left-wing people, you know, everybody shits on him. And yeah, then the next video I watched was how to connect an audio interface to OBS, and this video didn't help me, and this one did help me. He's a legend. So yeah, shout out to this guy. And then because this one, why are you struggling with OBS, or why are you struggling to record sound? Because I'm making this video. And this video because some friends from Discord say mine, and I wanted to hear it. So yeah, this was day 1. Day 2. So the first video I watched on day 2 was this one. Lo que tu desorden dice de ti, what your disorder, like the mess around you, says about you. And I had this video opened from a long time ago in another tab, and I think I had even watched it before. And yeah, this girl who's a minimalist says she's messy, but I don't think so. She actually seems quite tidy. But yeah, I think I have already seen it, and basically the main thesis of the video is that the mess around you reflects your message inside you, and that it's not as bad as it could seem, because it's a signal that something's gone wrong around you. And yeah, the comments I found funny, well, interesting. I can't see them right now because they have more likes, but yeah. Maria Hill is kind of coping hard because she disagrees. She says that actually messy environments are good, and I think that is not correct. The reasons to which she comes to that conclusion are fine, and I understand them. For example, if you have a kid and a job and you have a lot of friends and you do a lot of shit, you don't have time to be cleaning up every day. But if shit's super messy, then you're lying to yourself. But yeah, maybe I'm wrong. And yeah, another thing I found interesting was that 90% of her audience are girls. Yeah. I don't watch channels like that a lot. Then Sylvia, another commenter, she went more introspective, and she said that she cleans up only the things that are outwards. Then the next video I watched was this one about car prices from Guy Alfonsine. I'm subscribed and I'm even a member of the channel. And I wanted to see it because I get the notifications and shit like that. He talks about these cars, and yeah, basically these are the results. He checks if the price is really going up, and of these cars that he reviewed like 3 years ago, the 10 first cars of his USPI series, which means used, but are they interesting? So yeah, well, used but interesting because they are cars that are interesting and used. These are the conclusions. Pause the video if you want to see them. And the comments are basically people blaming him for the rise of prices, like in a joking way, but also not really. And then also people asking about cars, like, what about this car or this car? Then the next video I watched was this one, because before the Tiffany's one that I'm going to talk about now, I got this tweet on my timeline because I went to my phone and started watching Twitter and got this tweet where she's wearing huarachis, and yep, I got distracted, so I got reminded of this song, which is pretty good. It's a banger, as they say. Then yeah, one line is that me paso el día viendo tías buenas en Instagram, which I agree, because I do that a lot. Basically my feed is that, because that's my guess 2021. And then I go outside, well, y luego salgo a la calle y digo, ¿dónde coño están? Yes, he goes outside and he wonders about where are they, and that's where I disagree, because I do see a lot of them outside as well. So yeah, that's my conclusion on the video. Then this video, basically a whole analysis about why people are going from LA to NYC. With people, she means influencers that she watches. And yeah, the context I have on this is that on San Francisco Twitter there's a lot of talk about how California sucks because of homeless people and high taxes, and a couple more influencers like that. She talks about how there's a trend, like it's a trend that started with blue as water places like islands and classic travel influencer type shit, and that's gone more to LA, and then it's now New York's turn, and it will cycle. So yeah, she says a couple of reasons to why people go to LA, which is like, yeah, for influencers basically that it was the acting city and then a lot of collabs started happening, and that it's usually it's a good place to make videos because it's got clout and a lot of popular places from the movies. And yeah, then why people are to live in LA. The conservative arguments are these ones: rent, homeless people, and taxes. And then the influencers say that people that are fake in Los Angeles, which can be true, but who's talking? Then why do people go to New York? It's not a new thing, it's a general love city, it's walkable, it's a big city. And yes, the points that are for influencers is because it's a diverse city. It's not as monocultural in the sense that LA is monocultural, because it's all about the show business. It's the show business city, and New York is more diverse. There's an art scene with every art, like theater, Broadway, all that shit. And it's also corporate people, you know, there's a lot more, especially for fashion, yeah, because of Fashion Week and the seasons and the scenery. It's a good place, and she's encountered this fashion thing on TikTok, the fashion student in NYC, classic romanticized TikTok, and that gives her that gives everyone main character vibes. And she talks about what are those main character vibes, which is basically that it's a good city to make you feel like the main character, because you're kind of in the hustle and bustle of the city. If you're a teenager and you go to the big city for the first time, it's a good big city to go to. There's a lot of life in it, so yeah, it's good for that. Yeah, my thoughts are basic. My thoughts, yeah, I liked her fake accent. He puts it a couple of times. She's from LA and she went to New York, by the way, and this is her, by the way. So yeah, I like the video. The concept makes sense. I'm not sure if it's actually cyclical, but it will make sense. And yeah, the arguments I found most convincing, the ones that talk about like financially related stuff, like how you can make more money because money is going down if you're in LA, because it's like the cycles up. People are already tired of LA, and if you upload about New York, people like get excited and watch that, so you get more money. I'm more convinced about that than about burnout, because that sounds, I don't know. From her exposition, it seems like in the influencer mindset, it checks out more for me. But yeah, I'm not judging, and I think her thesis holds up. So And yeah, from reading the comments, there's talk about loneliness, so also talk about how LA natives think that LA is also good, and well, that it's not just what influencers show about it. And yeah, then the next video I watched was this one, where Rokotzelic, Outconsumer, a Spanish YouTuber, very famous, well, pretty famous, but now he's been making less content. And yeah, I clicked exclusively to make this comment, Rokodromo, which is a play on his name because his name is Rock, and he's making a Rokodromo. Just that. And then I watched the video, and here he makes a Rokodromo, which is this thing. It's a place where you climb. So he makes one for his daughter, and he has a reflection at the end of the video. His reflections are pretty interesting also. Yeah, they're calm, they're reflective. He's a wise dude. I called him wise. Then the next video I watched was this one, the longest press conference question ever. Gentlemen. Because a friend sent me a couple of memes. Let's see if they load. Basically, on Reddit there's a bot that does this, and I wanted to check out the speech because it's been a long time since I've seen the speech, so and I wanted to see it. And Vettel is legendary in this clip. Just watch it. It's 1 minute and 30 seconds. Then the next video I watched was this one because a friend sent it to me via WhatsApp. And yeah, it's basically, are they really selling €1 places? Not really. There's a lot of requisites. You have to have a 100k deposit, and it's almost like 400 to 100 to 1 million euros in renovating the places because they're super toned down. And yeah, it's a cool place. The next video I watched was this one, Epic Rap Battles of History, Steve Jobs versus Bill Gates. Awesome battle. I went to this because of this tweet, which I voted cringe, but I voted cringe instead of based because I wanted to click based, but I tapped the wrong thing. And we watched literally all of them a couple of months ago before I proceeded to fail. Facts. Then probably, yeah, I've thought about making TikToks of this one, especially of this one, because it's like the most iconic one. Oh yeah, and why this one specifically? Because someone put a gif of it. Then I watched this one because it's cool. I want to see what new things they uploaded, and they uploaded this one. It's decent. I get most things about Jeff, but not really about Mansa Musa because I don't know him very much. I've watched a video that talked about him, but it was only a part of it because it talked about Africa in general, like the medieval times but in Africa, and it went a bit on the Mali Empire, which was Mansa Musa's thing, but I forgot most of it. And that was day 2. Day 3. So the first video that I watched on day 3 was this one, Epic Rap Battles of History, from yesterday. I watched the videos. I started watching YouTube after coming from school, so it was like the time where I do these daily reviews. So I wanted to watch it again, and I did. The next video I watched is called I Had Sex and It Was Gross by Healthy Gamer, and I watched it because it has this thumbnail and also because I have notifications on the channel and because I watch him regularly, so I usually watch this guy. And yeah, the videos are about a former incel who just had sex for the first time and was like grossed out because he felt different, he didn't like the feeling, it was kind of like underwhelming, he expected more pleasure or whatever. And yeah, he started to wonder if he was asexual maybe, or stuff like that. So yeah, Dr. K goes into like how there is a wrong mindset in incel people and stuff like that. That is basically like if you have one unit of sex, you will automatically be erased of the incel community, so you won't be an incel and you will be happy, which is like the wrong mindset, because having sex once doesn't fix all your problems that lead you to being self-loathing and stuff like that. So yeah, and he talks then about some myths of sex. So it's like the first time is going to be amazing, this one's for girls apparently or whatever, and that every time you do it, it's amazing or stuff like that. And he says that no, these are myths. The first time it's pretty underwhelming, and eventually it's good and you get good, but it's not necessarily a one-time thing, or every time it's going to be consistent or stuff. It's like practice. In the last myth that he talks about this one later in the video, but yeah, it's also a myth. Is that the hellish vagina thing is basically like, he uses a couple of funny metaphors for it, and yeah, he talks about how did this guy get these difficulties, and it's because like, of that death grip syndrome, maybe a thing, which is like jerking off using too much pressure. And that relate, and also some psych problems maybe related to that, like that are like, am I messed up, and then getting shame about that, and then thinking that are you messed up and getting more shame and stuff like that, are also like something that could get into a cycle if he, for this guy, for example, for Marines or whatever. And how to solve these problems, like the physical problem has these physical solutions, and but it's not necessarily a one-person thing. And yeah, I thought this video was pretty interesting. Then the next video is also by him, and it's already deleted by, I don't know why it's made private, but I'll link to the stream below, thanks to this Reddit person. And yeah, basically he talked about a Reddit guy, it's in here. He talked about how he can't make important decisions, like he gets paralyzed and trapped in this cycle of not ever deciding anything. So Dr. K answers, but by asking what's a right decision in the first place, like where did we arrive to this paradigm. He tells a couple of stories, his own story also, and basically the concept comes from planning. So if you plan out stuff, you end up where you plan. You don't end up where you plan necessarily. So it's like planning is made without all the information available, so they're doomed to fail. And their strategy should be to iterate and adapt. And this reminded me of the planning is key, plans are useless framework. So yeah, why can't we iterate and adapt? That's like, why can't this dude do it if it's so easy? If the strategy is so simple, iterate and adapt, easy. So easy clap. So why doesn't he do it, right? So it's like, because it's conditioned, because society is basically conditioned everyone to do it, to be perfect from day one and stuff like that. And it's in actual medical school, for example, it's not so graded and things like that. You don't get rewarded for getting there the faster, you get rewarded for doing shit right, for example. Then he talks about Nyan Yoga. He pronounces it like this, but I look it up and apparently it's transcribed into Latin language like this. And yeah, basically the Nyan yogic framework tells you basically the same thing as iterating, but with a more mistake-focused perspective. So like, you have to accept the mistakes that you make and live with them and integrate that. And maybe they're not mistakes; they are life. You know, it's not mistake; it's life. So that's the best way to not make mistake. You know, to do as many suboptimal things. Maybe it's to not care about optimization so much. And maybe that's the, so why can't one live in the present, not only iterate and adapt, but live in the present. So yeah, not care about planning or stuff like that. And it's because of past trauma, he says. And he gives a couple of exercises which are like, yeah, asking yourself what's a good decision and stuff like that. And then I watched this video about a folding phone. So yeah, it's a new form factor because it's wider, and that's cool. The guy who made it had some issues with the software, the cameras aren't that good, and the phone is super expensive, it's like 1,800 euros. So it's basically, if it has shitty cameras for 1,800 euros, meh. But he likes that there is competition in the foldable market. This guy's channel is very good with it. And then yeah, the next video I watched was this one about Billionaires Row, which is big buildings south of Central Park, all residential, and they're basically used more as status symbols or investments, thanks to this new paradigm of making them more liquid than traditional real estate, because there is less worrying about usual real estate factors like neighbors or location or stuff like that, because the location is always good, and stuff like that. You know, there are single units, so one floor units. You don't have to deal a lot with neighbors and stuff like that. And then they talk about how zoning is fucked up there, because there are some tax breaks that you can do if you build affordable housing somewhere else, but only a small percentage of your portfolio needs to be affordable, and you can do this obscene stuff. So people ask also, why are they empty? And it's because they're used as like not even second homes or third homes. They're like, who knows? And they're pied-à-terres, so like hubs that people used to go there. So they're visited only when they want to go to New York, they go there. But it's not their primary residency because they maybe don't even live there. So it's basically the video, and then the next video you watch is also related to real estate. This guy is a Spanish guy who talks about real estate investing. He made a website. He sells the documents, so that, like, if you want to buy the rental contracts and stuff like that, you have to buy them, but he has a lot of free info, and yeah, I think it's a fair deal. Then this video about YouTube. So this guy made a video about a secret YouTube channel to prove it's not black. And yeah, the thing he did is basically a video about Miskiff, a clickbaity video with a title like how Miskiff got to be a millionaire thanks to a door, like this door. And yeah, basically that's what he uses. And then he talks about a couple of things like you have to optimize for thumbnail, for title, he edited well, and yeah, his takeaways are that he made a video that's better than 95% of videos uploaded, good content with good thumbnailing and good titling, and also good marketing, a smart way of getting it in front of people. And my take on that is that, and also yeah, kind of derived from the comments, is that he's right about it being smart marketing. I think that's an underrated point. He also got lucky, I think, but it is fair to say that it's good marketing. I personally agree with the quality point in the sense that for example, on the editing, I think it's undebatable that the editing is good. The animations and the visuals are great in general, but the script, I'm not so sold on it, because it is a decent script, I guess, but it is not 95% better if you take actual videos, because the content itself is not good, in my opinion. I think that content about streamers and with using clickbait titles of money is not that interesting. And the social analysis that he does of the door, like, which is basically that people can come in when you are there. It's like if my mom comes right now into here and she does something that embarrasses me, it's funny, but for people, oh, I mean, $1 million insight. I don't know. It's not that good, the video itself, but I guess it is good if you consider it. The script is good if you mean it in an algorithmic way, you know. So it takes some information because it's good, because no one cares about my mom, but people care about Miskiffs. So it is good in that sense, in that algorithmic sense, but it's not good objectively or something like that, or like of a higher order of quality in comparison with like a random 24-year-old girl from Tanzania who makes a makeup video, you know. Maybe that doesn't get watched, but maybe quality-wise it's actually superior, you know, in that sense. So yeah, that's my conclusion. Basically, that marketing point of view, it's good, but not necessarily from quality. And yeah, but it was interesting to watch. And yeah, I have some reflections for the second part, well, for the additional videos. But yeah, that was day 3. Day 4. So on day 4, I'm going to go super quick, because as you can see, I have a fuck ton of videos. Yesterday I watched a ton of videos, so I'm going to go like super quick. So yeah, the first one was this Sephardi song, because I saw a tweet from Marcian, and yeah, I was going to correct her, but yeah, so I have a couple of Sephardi songs here, and this one was the song she was singing. Yeah, done. Then the next 3, I saw a tweet about Jewish conversational style, a couple of articles, embedded videos, looked them up. These are the ones. Yeah. Done. Then the next one, this one, is some kind of linguist from those same people. 30-minute conference, a lot of notes, but I can't go over them. Then the next one is a React tutorial, because I got a t-shirt that says Lorem Ipsum, like 3 paragraphs of Lorem Ipsum. I wanted to build a website to dropship them, but yeah, it's going to be a whole thing. So yeah, this video, it's 6 hours long, so I didn't watch it. That's why it's not on this window here on the left. Then this video about CPUs in Formula 1, because I saw a Twitter thread. Yeah, it's very interesting how they capped computer power, because the measuring power for computational fluid dynamics was like fucked up. Very interesting video, I liked it. Then this video, because I was browsing Reddit, and on the Taylor Swift subreddit someone mentioned Blondie, because people call her Blondie, but yeah, they called her the one and only Blondie, and this the group Blondie is actually the one and only Blondie. It's a good song. A video on the same thread, yeah, about computers, well, Formula 1 and computers. A man mentioned like a Renfe crash, so I wanted to see what crash it was because I didn't remember, but yeah, it was the 2013 like Santiago crash, super famous crash. Then yeah, this is the thread, by the way. This. So yeah, because it was talking about F1, I wanted to say like I know a bit of things about telemetry because I did a course with an engineer, project engineer from the WEC to say what I knew, and WinTax is one of the things. So yeah, I linked a couple of things, but I didn't actually watch it. It's short, but I didn't watch like the fake telemetry. Then I wanted to see like what Rome scripts can do, so I watched a couple of videos on Rome. This first one was like from a kid. Yeah, she's like pretty young, and it was interesting. But yeah, it's apparently like a family, and all of them use Rome, or I don't know. Then a developer from like the toolkit, she basically copy pastes something onto Rome and like shows how to use it. And this guy is like a dude who developed the script, not this script, but another script that the script that the girl used was based on. Yeah. Then this video, a friend sent it to me by WhatsApp. Very funny. I fucking love Luisito Comunicas. He's so funny, and the way he talks is hilarious. I love him. Then Jagger with Leticia Sabater. Insane video. Yeah, it's great. A friend sent it to me. Well, to us. Then a couple of videos from El Chocas. One about Matrix. This one it was like a overview of the. It's like a gameplay, well, more of a cinematic that you can control a little bit. But yeah, it was pretty good. It's sponsored, by the way. And then one about living with loneliness. Then another one. Yeah, and I like El Chocas. I like his reflections. This is the next one. So yeah, I like his reflections.
Habrá que pillar algo de Hello
The one about food is funny. It's very funny. And the reflective one is like, yeah, it's interesting. I'm not sure if I agree with all of it because he kind of gives loneliness and alone time, not necessarily loneliness. Soledad. I don't know. It's a mix of between alone time or loneliness. So yeah, he basically like says it's like if you can't deal with yourself, you can't deal with anything. I mean, I think he misses a bit of how it works, but yeah. Then the next thing, like all of these videos, all basically are Beat Saber related because I saw this tweet. So yeah, I saw this tweet, which is basically a video about this, and then I tweeted this. If Beethoven mistake, I watched him playing Beat Saber because I remember watching, I think, a TikTok or maybe YouTube shorts of someone playing of a girl playing Beat Saber, like dancing, moving her ass like from side to side. I remember that. So yeah, I made that tweet. Awesome tweet. I retweeted myself. I mean, these videos are fucking insane because she's like in a virtual world, like, mixed reality. Beat Saber videos are probably my favorite thing of the whole time. Then the next one is another video about Beat Saber, and then the next one is another one, but this one is lower quality. Then another one, and this one is very clear to see why I watched it. Then another one, then another one, and another one, and another one, and another one, and yeah, I think you can get the idea, right? Another one, another one. This one is with Crab Brave, the song, pretty funny. Another one, this one is like full epileptic. This one inspired another tweet. Another one, another one, and another one. This one's pretty funny because she actually spins in some places of the video. Yeah, see, spin. I don't want the music to do anything. Then a short one about Rockefeller Street again, because that song gets in your head. Then another short one because they're short. Then a cover from that girl because I wanted to see what she looked like. Then one tutorial about how to make these videos. After the mixed reality one, I was back on my Rockefeller bullshit, Rocky Street Ball, because this song gets in your head and you can't stop like hearing it in your head. Yeah. And then I went to look up the original performance on Eurovision. I hadn't seen it before. Interesting. Then the actual song studio version, because the lead performance voice was kind of Then the Nightcore version, it's a fucking banger. And then because of Nightcore, I remember this Nightcore song that I've listened to a lot of times. And yeah, that was basically day 4. So this is day 5 review. And yeah, to start off day 5 the review, I'm going to go over quick because there's a lot of videos too. So this one is going to be pretty quick. So yeah, basically this one is from yesterday. I queued it up that day, but I forgot to put it in. So yeah, this is actually day 4. As you can see, this is embedded on ROM. Then the next one, this is the first video I watched that day, which is basically the Rockefeller song, because I looked it up on Wikipedia. And yeah. Then the next video I clicked but didn't watch was this one. It's a conference that I saw on LinkedIn from an ex-classmate. Super long, like 2 hours and a half or something. So, and I didn't watch it, I just clicked to see if she was there or what was the thing about. Then the next video was something I found on Reddit, this post, which is basically wrapping his car on LEDs. Pretty cool. Then the next video I watched was from an Instagram story from a classmate. Yeah. So yeah, he's around here and stuff. The song is pretty good. It sounded like then a Lady Gaga song, because I found this tweet, looked it up, this song. Then this video about airline being banks from Wendover Productions, good video. There's some comments about it which are like which debate something and don't necessarily agree that with the claim that, because in the video it says that it's like kind of strange or something like that, but I think that the video says, well, some comments say that maybe it's not that strange or something like that. Then the next video, all of these videos are again about the thing I watched yesterday, Beat Saber, and yeah, because I did the review and yeah, so yeah. And doing the daily sums, like summing each time, these cumulative things. So doing this, I clicked and I had to watch it again. So yeah, basically then this one from yesterday, and then this one from yesterday again, and then this one which is different, and this one and this one. Yeah, in this one she actually spins. She actually spins and the map spins. This one was pretty funny. Yeah. It reminded me of this thing. This thing, this one, and this one, and this one is called Saber Bomb, right? Yeah, Saber Bomb VR. So yeah, that's why in the notes I say mom has knowledge, and yeah, she edits some extra angles and stuff like that. So it's interesting. Then there's some collabs. Yeah, this video is awesome. The performance is great. Then this one, yes, it's a collaboration. This one, it has an intro where she talks to the camera and shit like that, and yeah, she works on the scenery. Because it's a boat. And yeah, then there's this girl. There's one with yeah, basically because of the outfit. Watch this. This one goes like at 15 frames per second, so it's almost painful to watch. And this one is the last one I watched, yeah, because she replied to me in a comment, so I watched another video of hers, because when you click here you go to the channel. So yeah, basically that's day 5 short version. Day 6. So yeah, on day 6 I started watching this video from a tweet, and the tweet linked to this tweet about Harambe. Then the tweet linked to an article, like the second tweet in the thread, and yeah, it's a dope article. I like VGR, Venkatesh Rao's articles and tweets. He's good. He's a good writer, and he writes about interesting topics. And yeah, the expression "dicks out" is funny. I'll go on more about it on the long video. This is the next video I watched because of the YouTube notifications. This guy is super funny. I love Satirical. The next video I watched was this one about by Guy Alfonsine. It's a teaser trailer for what he's going to upload, and yeah, so some car reviews, some podcasts or like spoken word videos, more or less. And yeah, he doesn't say it, but the reason why he's uploading a lot of videos on Christmas is because in Christmas AdSense is through the roof, so you get a lot more money. But yeah, I obviously don't mind. But I want to drop knowledge. Then the next video got shared from WhatsApp by a friend. Skippy, yeah, classic video, shouting, giddy vibes. The next video I watched was this one about the capitalización de la Navidad, how Christmas gets all capitalized or whatever. I don't know the translation. Yeah, mercantilized, whatever, consumerized. So yeah, it's about that. She starts talking about Tolkien, like the Lord of the Rings writer. So yeah, it's funny. I like her videos a lot. And yeah, she goes like of an overview on the phenomenon, this Christmas phenomenon, some articles, stuff like that. The concepts of family and the concept of gift, of present. So yeah, it's a nice watch for the length that it is. Doesn't go super in depth in anything, but yeah, it's like for the length that it goes on to, it's fine. The next video I watched was this one by Miguel Ancho Bastos. Well, it's like some kind of compilation channel from this guy, and yeah, Ancho Bastos, in case you he's like a libertarian economist or whatever. As you can see, the channel is like an anarcho-capitalist channel or whatever. So yeah, it got sent by a friend of mine who is like very traditionalist and stuff like that. So he's always arguing with my libertarian friend, and he sent us this video because it talks about human rights and child labor. It talks about child labor and about how it's not bad. So it's obviously like a clickbaity premise. Yeah, I think obviously I'm not libertarian, or I don't think I'm libertarian. So there's some shit to explore that I'm not sure about, like some claims I'm not sure about them, but yeah. Like yeah, the exposition is nice. He's funny. Ancho Bastos, he has like a funny accent, so it's fun to listen to. And yeah, but I don't necessarily agree with what he says, but I found some interesting points. Then the next video I watched was one that a friend sent me on WhatsApp, and yeah, it's about how do EJ builds cost. So yeah, he goes basically around all of the things, and yeah, basically the conclusions are this one. This is the expensive build, this is the total build. But yeah, the video is very nice, and this channel goes very in depth about everything. And yeah, I think I have to watch this video yet, but it seems like it's going to be good. I've watched a couple of videos of the channel, and yeah, it's decent. The next video I watched was this one. This one was a great video. I love Kidology. I think I'm a Patreon supporter too as well, so thank cryptocurrency is the answer for everything. So yeah, talks about South Korea, like South Korean society, on a pretty in depth for the length of the video, right? So I really like that, and I like her exposition style a lot. Yeah, it's a great watch. I super recommend it. And yeah, basically my thoughts are this one. The ending is like crazy because yeah, if you watch the Squid Game, there's the doctor, the doctor character, right? Number 111. So yeah, there are parallels to like this guy, like an Hungarian, I think, Hungarian doctor in Nazi Germany that he was like a Jewish doctor that had to work for in the concentration camps to get like survival points. So there's parallels and stuff like that, and yeah, it's a crazy story. I'm definitely going to read the book. Then the next video I watched was this one because this person commented on the other video, and then the next video was this one, a pole dancing video from the same person. And yeah, basically yeah, that's what I watched this video. No, not much to comment on these two videos. There were just some like out of curiosity. Day 7, and last day. So the first video I watched on day 7 was this one about, well, this decommodified version of a commercial, because I saw it on Twitter, and yeah, it was a nice little video, pretty cool vibes, and solar punk kind of aesthetic, so that I like. And then I looked up the original video because I wanted to know how the original video was, or what the original video was. And yeah, it was a commercial for like a yogurt company or something like that. It's obviously worse than the decommodified version, but it's not as bad as the comments say, because there are some comments that are like, this one is something that grind my teeth. I'm not up to that level of teeth grindiness, but then the next video I watched was this one, build and sell your own API. And yeah, basically she goes on to talk about how you can build an API. I saw it on my recommended, and yeah, she tells you how to build it, where to list it, or how to host it, and yeah, using which packages and stuff like that. And yeah, it's basically, it takes titles from a climate change website and pulls them from several websites, from several news sources, and gives you a list of titles. There are a couple of comments concerned with like copyright and stuff like that. There is interesting discussion, but yeah, I didn't get to finish the video because I lost interest like here at this point. Then the next video I watched was why I left Twitch, because of a DM I wrote to Visa, because of a tweet he posted about him being in an intellect salon with the Twitch CEO. So I got a question, but it wasn't related to the tweet, so I DM'd. And yeah, basically the video talks about why he left Twitch, and it's because YouTube offered him better conditions and he didn't really feel loved, in a sense, like appreciated by Twitch, so he left. He likes Twitch more and he considers himself a Twitch person, but yeah, and he wants to spend less time streaming and stuff like that. Yeah. Then the next video was this one. Book, glitch, hack, speedrun, cómo desbloquear al final Black Marcelo al principio del juego Marcelo. And yeah, simplemente agachate con Marcelo. Not much more to say about it. The next one is Marcelo versus Mauricio. Batalla de rap. Barras, gana Mauricio. Because of a bar. Juan Pablo II, yeah. Respect. Then the next video is Miley Cyrus mejor que Mozart? Is Miley Cyrus better than Mozart? I debate with a conservatory. It's like a music school professor. So yeah, it's a clickbaity video, but yeah, she talks about a couple songs of Miley and compares them to Mozart. Then has like a 4-minute segment about the things she's promoting, which is her boyfriend's course about classical music, and then that this dude is also part of. And yeah, then the next video I watched was a trailer for a 24-minute conference from this guy. Didn't watch it. The trailer I did watch, but I haven't watched the video yet. I have it pending there. Then this is the next video. A friend sent me a TikTok of a mall. Yeah, of a mall here in Madrid. Well, here it's far away. If Madrid is this, then I live here. Yeah, so like left, west. This is from your point of view. This is me. Like north, west, and this is the place, Torrejón. Torrejón is like southeast, or like east, kind of south. So yeah, it's like far away. And yeah, there's an exposition there about these cars, these movie cars, by Movie Car Central. So yeah, then, and yeah, and all cars move. They are all real cars, so I wanted to watch what the cars were, and they move and stuff like that. The next video I watched was this one, how it's made Omega Forge pistons, because I was studying for a test that had forge content. It's about engineering, like fabrication. It talks about forging, and I wanted some motivation, so I looked up forged pistons, and saw this one, or like forged pistons fabrication, and yeah, this appeared. watched it. Interesting video. It's the first part of 3. I watched all 3. They're in the shop. They talked about the equipment and the materials and stuff like that. It's interesting. Then the next video, more in depth in the long part of this video. Then the next video is this one. Forged versus cast versus hyper-protective pistons. Yeah, it was in the recommendations of the past video, I think. Yeah, basically pretty self-explanatory. Tells you the difference between forged and cast and hyper-protective pistons. Hyper-protective are a subcategory of cast pistons, but in a different material. A hyper-protective one. And yeah, basically, yeah, this is like the sum up. The hyper-protective allow for this amount of power. The cast pistons allow for less amount of power, and they wear a lot more, so the hyper-protective are kind of better in every way. And then the 432 forged pistons. 432 is a type of aluminum, by the way. They wear more, but they also have more power potential. And then the 2618 aluminum, they wear even more, and then have even more power potential, basically. And then there's some cool discussion in the comments. Then the next video I watched was the Wild Project with El Chocas, legend. Yeah, super long video, so I have a lot of notes, but yeah, basically talks about Todd Chocas' life, why he's got that name, when he became famous, some moments, some kind of viral moments. Yeah, talking about how being viral itself is, then yeah, about some of those moments, why isn't he with some other series, about Twitch. Giorgio also talks, obviously, so I have like both of their opinions kind of annotated. Basically, yeah, about how likes affect society, then about depression, because Chocas went through a period with depression and anxiety, and yeah, about quitting smoking, about being rich. These are annotations, they don't say, so how is being rich? No, they talk about that, and then they start segueing into stuff. But, yeah, and then there's a couple cuñado moments. Cuñado, I don't know how to say cuñado in English. It's like what your racist uncle is, right? This archetypical, I know everything, and macho bravado, that kind of stuff. But yeah, wait. Yeah, but in a Spanish fashion. So yeah, and then they talk about paranormal experiences. Then I watched another video from this channel, from El Rincón de Giorgio's channel, which is by where Leo Margets, who is a Spanish poker player, or Catalan. Yeah, she talks about how her experience in attorney, and it's interesting. And then I watched another video which is called Why You Shouldn't Buy Techwear Clothing by this channel. This is Antoine. I discovered it this day, and I subscribe because his videos are pretty good. And yeah, this is basically it. Yeah, I found from this tweet, I replied with this, and then I looked up techwear on YouTube and to see what videos there were, and yeah, pretty decent. Then yeah, it talks about how the term techwear clothing is kind of not used by the brands themselves, and now it's become kind of a clickbait type word that a lot of people use to do outfits like these that aren't really techwear. So basically what I thought techwear was, or the techwear aesthetic. I knew techwear wasn't exactly this, but these are the things that have caught my eye. For example, if there's weapons, it's basically more of a cosplay than actual fashion, and techwear is more like fashion, but yeah, basically stuff like that. And yeah, I knew a couple of techwear things, a couple of techwear brands, but not a lot. So yeah, basically that's what I watched this week, the short version. Remember that I've uploaded the long version down below if you want to watch it. And yeah, this is it for today. And see you right now with the conclusions of the whole week. So it's time for the conclusions. So yeah, what I learned this week from watching my videos. These are my conclusions. Basically, the amount I watched these videos, the total amount of videos I watched was 110 videos. The cumulative watch time of those videos is 18 hours. About more than 18 hours. which at 2 times its speed is like 9 hours. I watched between 10 and 18 hours of videos this week. So basically from 1 to 2 or something hours a day of YouTube, which actually sounds kind of not a lot. And yeah, because tracking of what I watch made me watch a little bit less YouTube. But even though I've watched less amount of videos and less quantity of videos in general, I would say as quantity like less time of videos, not only quantity, because I could have watched like 120 short videos, but it wouldn't be a lot, for example. But yeah, so even though the video watching that I did was shaped not only in watch time but also in maybe a couple of videos that I said, man, I won't click on this one because then I have to worry about it, I'll watch it next week. Then I would say that it's still a fair representation of my watching habits. So maybe I would have watched a couple of things that I didn't put on here, but yeah, some insights that I get. For example, yeah, I usually watch through most videos I click on, right? So if I click on a video, it's pretty like 95% chance that I'm going to watch it through. Because a lot of people I know, some friends or other people, like will skip around, right? And I do that very rarely, and I don't consider that I've watched the video if I haven't watched it through. And I've watched some channels I'm loyal to, so like Guille Alfonsín, for example, but I've only watched the short. Well, no, I did watch the Formula Wallapop one, but yeah, I've watched some channels I'm loyal to, Kidology, for example. I've done some deep dives into weird rabbit holes, so like for example all the Beat Saber kind of shit. That was kind of, yeah, it was like a lot of amount of videos, a lot of watch time too, and all very concentrated in like a small period of time where I'm basically only watching that kind of stuff. And yeah, that repeats for a couple of days. Yeah, I do that a lot. I think I would say that that's something I do. Say, for example, if I'm watching one video about cars, I will watch like a lot of videos about cars, and maybe, yeah, I'm saying that I do it, not that I only do it, or that it's rare that I do it, or the opposite. I'm not saying if it's common or it's uncommon. I think it's pretty common, but I wouldn't know how common it is. I think it must be, and YouTube wants to make it even more common because that's watch time, right? So the more videos that you link together, the more time you spend on the site. So yeah, but yeah, I would say that. But yeah, but I'm not sure about the qualitative aspect of weird, like if that counts as weird or not. I think it's pretty weird. Yeah, so I say weird, some people could say creepy, I don't know. But yeah, for example, not only in this case weird could be creepy, but not generally, right? I watch, yeah, for example, about cars, yeah, or about whatever, or for example, iPods, old iPods. I will watch like 14-25 minute videos about old iPods in one afternoon, something like that. Or it divided in 3 days. I will only watch iPod content, and I don't even own an iPod, or stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's a common phenomenon. Yeah, I also did some discoveries, like the Antoine channel about TechCore, the last video that I commented on. And yeah, basically my initial view of the day, I think it comes from other social media. I don't start the day, click on the YouTube or have a YouTube tab open. Maybe it happens, but I don't usually have to have that. But I will be on Twitter or Reddit or Instagram, and I will see a YouTube video, I will click, and then I will stay more time on the site. That's kind of something I do. And yeah, I continue viewing through the bell video, because the bell notifies me. The bell tells me that I have something, and I will click on it and check, and usually I will watch it because I'm subscribed. I hit the bell on that YouTubers. And then I also watch a lot about with the recommendation engine. For example, I don't use the subscribing tab. There's a chat tab about the things you subscribe to. I don't click that. I only watch recommended videos or things from the bell, or recommended by social media. And yeah, basically those are my conclusions. I hope you enjoyed this very long video. I think it's going to be very long, probably like an hour or something, even more. And this is the short version. There's like, if I packaged it all in one video, it would be like probably 3 hours, something like that. So if no one's going to watch this one, imagine the 3 hour one. So this is for me, from future me. So hope you enjoyed. This is 2021. Today is 21st of December. See you. If you've watched till the end, say something in the comments. You must have some thoughts on this whole thing, right? And remember that the playlists with every video are in the description, as well as the long versions of each day. So check them out if you're curious about my in-depth thoughts on any of those topics. And feel free to comment more or request anything.